Choo, choo. Choo, 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 choo. Kick, Rumble, Odyssey, Twitter, which is X, DLive, Facebook, Twitch, and maybe YouTube? Yes, it is Thursday, September 28th, 2023 AD, Anno Domini, the year of our Lord. And we will play some Mary Rice Hopkins, indeed. And by the way, when I put on my shirt today, I was like, why did I make this shirt? It says, "Knowledge is poison, the Hake Report." And I remember making it, and I remember part of why I made it. I remember some of the people who get knowledge about this or that subject, the Jews or whatever, or the Bible or whatever they think that they know. They get all on their high horse and think that they know, and it puffs up. Knowledge puffs up, right? But love builds up. And they fight, they argue, they bash, they are still blind, they have no wisdom, no humility. What a mess. So that's thehakereport.com or the Hake Report creator-spring. I don't know. teespring.com/stores/the Hake Report. Sweet. This one is not 100% cotton. What will we talk about today? We will talk about another man MeToo'd by females crying rape culture. It's not rape culture, it's females crying rape culture. But they're the ones who, these women, they think that men are the problem and solution, which is true, or but not in the way that they're thinking. They do not have the solutions that they think they have, these gals. Oh, Lord. Michigan State University, what a mess. Fired their top black coach. I'm shaking my head. Cher's real son, Elijah Blue Alman. I mentioned a couple of these stories in Hake News. His ex-wife is saying that Cher tried to kidnap her son to sabotage the marriage that was already on the rocks, and it was already messed up. And so you do the math. I don't know. 2 women. The New York City rats are huge. Are they really rats? Or are they possums? I don't know. They're brainwashing the kids in the Netherlands. Man, that's nasty. Ugh. And some, terrible things going on in the world. And your calls if you would like to call in, guys. But anyway, everybody, let's get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake.
What's going on? Okay, now we're kicking back on. Nice. And we're back, everybody. Whew, what a mess. Okay. Pardon me while I had that strange interlude. Why Hake buffer but not JLP? Ha ha ha. It's not funny to me. We're back. Restart your router, Hank. Okay. So press 1 if it's fine. It should be fine. Press 2 if it's bad. Press 3 if it's a little iffy. But I'm pretty sure it's fine. How y'all doing? I am fine. Let's talk about this one gal. Another man, MeToo'd by females crying rape culture. Kissing up to the females crying rape. R word, I mean, ape. The far-left females at the Skim reported, and I mentioned this in Hake News, yesterday, Michigan State University fired football coach Mel Tucker, black, and that doesn't speak anything against him, by the way, over allegations that he S-wordly harassed this one woman, Brenda Tracey. And I have pictures of this Brenda Tracey gal. Brenda Tracey, a prominent alleged rape survivor. They don't say alleged, but it's alleged. It's no proof. I mean, it's hard to prove something. That's from 1998. especially when they allegedly destroyed the evidence, because she supposedly took evidence to look at her. She's a survivor, speaker, advocate. He previously worked with her. She's an activist, right? They say survivor so as not to feel like a victim, right? Same thing. He previously worked with last year. Mildly attractive gal. He liked her. He was really impressed with her. I don't know in what way. And she might have liked him too. I don't know. He's black. She's, I don't know what. She looks white. There she is standing next to a football player. She goes around football players and military people and goes into the corporate world, the State Department, DOJ, gets all involved and preaches her stuff about consent and things like the S word. X-say. There she is standing in front of the Dallas Cowboys meeting. Anyway, I'll tell you a little bit about her. But anyway, this news ends the career of one of the highest paid coaches in college sports after she accused this black football coach at MSU, Michigan State University, of sexually harassing her. And she gets herself all prettied up with these tight jeans and all that mess. Ugh. Anyway, there's been years of scrutiny. Michigan State University has also, you may recall their MSU name over the sports allegations? S-word allegations against sports Dr. Larry Nassar. Face kind of caked in makeup. Larry Nassar, you know, the gymnast doctor guy who all these gymnast girls went after. MSU, and he worked at MSU, Michigan State University. Mel Tucker, MSU said Mel Tucker's actions brought public disrespect, contempt, and ridicule upon the university. Mel Tucker said MSU does not care about my rights. And I said, yeah, that's true. There's Mel Tucker, this black guy. One of the highest paid college football coaches, according to the ladies at the Skim. So I'm looking at this. I'd never heard of either of these people before because I'm not into sports or college ball or football or anything like that. Much less am I into I am kind of into the MeToo'd nonsense because it's so popular. Show that one where I said caked on, I don't know if it's caked on. Yeah, there it is. She said, it takes a village to create a campus culture where Nassar's crimes, accusations against football players, and cries for help from students are ignored and covered up, she told the Detroit Free Press, I guess, about Michigan State University. It's never just in a vacuum. And so she was there she is in Oregon, with her bangs all covering her face. Anyway, interesting look she has there. Show this IG picture. I believe survivors. I believe Brenda Tracey. I don't necessarily believe or disbelieve. I don't know. I don't care. I stand in support with survivors. I stand in support with Brenda Tracey. She posted on her IG on September 11th. No, I don't take a position on that. You don't necessarily just believe people. Here's her, show some pictures from her website, if you can pick up on which ones are from her website. Survivor, speaker, advocate, inspiring a culture change to end so-called sexual violence is her website tagline about her. So she's built her whole identity around this mess, around what she alleges to have experienced in 1998. 4 football players, you see it in there, Hassan? 4 football players survivor, speaker, advocate. She's holding a microphone in this. I have so many different pictures in here. It's confusing. On one of her quotes, she says, "To the men in this room, I'm not here because I think you're the problem. I'm here because I think you're the solution. I know you're the solution." That's on her website. Also on her website, "If women alone could stop S-wordsual violence, we would have already done it," she claims. This is a men's issue, and it's time for men to get involved. And I don't think that she realizes that women have raised men this way. Most of the R-wordists, the actual forcible R-wordists, are not raised by fathers. They're raised by their mothers. And so women are more involved in this than they may realize or admit. Maybe some of them know what they're doing. Somewhat, perverting the kids, turning the boys into girls, spreading the hatred mess, spreading the emotions, pushing boys to be all into their emotions and stuff like that. Who she's worked with: Air Force Academy, Baltimore Ravens, CNN, ESPN, Huffington Post, LA Times, NC2A. It's college sports. Ohio State University, Penn State, Politico, Sports Illustrated, Stanford University. Not one good organization. The Athletic, U.S. Army, DOJ, Department of Justice, University of Florida, USA Today. Just far left extremist organizations have said, yeah, come on in. This is why I say that it's a women crying rape culture. Vanderbilt University, Washington Commanders, Yale University. This black guy who got involved with her allegedly should have known better, because that's her identity, is to cry that thing against him. Brenda Tracey is a mother, a registered nurse, advocate, and survivor. In 1998, Brenda survived a brutal gang R-word by 4 college football players, and she claims that she went right to the police, and the prosecutors decided not to go with it because they couldn't prove it, according to this story. And so they destroyed the evidence a couple of years before the statute of limitations, because, she wasn't doing anything, or they weren't doing anything. And then 2014 comes around. 16 years later, she comes forward with this whole R-word culture thing. They were starting to cry rape culture. Rolling Stone magazine came out with this story that was suspect about a rape on campus. Not related to her, I don't think. Maybe it was. I don't know. No, I don't think it was. And to this day now, she's made her career going around preaching to the black football players and military, where they have co-ed military now. And of course, the military has more of the S-word mess going on because they have the men and women, especially in this loose S-word culture, where people are having S-word out of wedlock. They're now crying, S-word jewel, whatever, harassment is on the rise in the military. It's a problem in the military. Well, they're supposed to be separated. She doesn't look 100% real in terms of her look, that look. Tracy and Tucker, this whatever woman and this man, started working together after the coach moved from Colorado to East Lansing, Michigan. Prior to his second season, they met through mutual connection in They paid Tracey, MSU paid Tracey $10,000 to share her personal story with the team. She was a mother of two who was gang raped by 4 college football players, and she challenged the good men in the room to educate themselves on correct behavior and call out their teammates for bad behavior. Tucker had his players, this Mel Tucker man, the black football coach, had his football players, college students, sign Tracey's pledge, an agreement to be accountable in the areas of consent and repercussions for violent actions. He was highly complimentary of her on social media after her visit. I bet he was. Maybe not for whether he actually believed in her cause, but maybe because she's mildly attractive, but that's speculation. Setting it up for visits in the future. And he signed his own loss of his job back at that point. Because she accused him of... I can't even tell you what she accused him of. It's so vulgar. And he says, but his story was that she was okay with it. You know how men do and women do this dance of pushing the envelope a little bit with regard to the relationship. Most of the time it's women doing that, I think, nowadays. But the men will do that. Black men will do that. A lot of other men will do that. Or males. It's gross. He made S-word Jewel comments towards her. Terrible. Anyway, he never should have gotten involved with that gal. No, she wasn't paid since 1998. She came forward in 2014 when they started to do that thing. They started to do that rape culture thing. We started pushing the notion of a rape culture. That was around the time I became producer of the JLP show. Ned Post says the story is boring. It caught my interest because I never heard of these people, and now it's like this big news. I'm sure other people in that world have heard of it, and the mainstream media supports these evil females pushing their false victimhood. Women seduce and then pull back, says somebody. Yes, Argalunas. I would say that's accurate. I have no idea what went on between them. I really don't care. MSU is firing him over allegations and making accusations against him to embarrass them. They embarrass themselves. There's so many, it's wrong on so many levels because you shouldn't be having the S word out of wedlock. I think males, especially who work out a lot, like in the military and the football and sports and all that stuff, and then the blacks too, especially black-dominated world like football, they don't come from the best families, and so people who don't come from the best families have high emotions because they're from their mothers, and so they're more sexual, hypersexual. And then the high T going, they're young, whatever's going on, they're more driven in that carnal way, we'll call it, fleshly way. And then you have these people, this gal who's like dressing basically to bait them. She's kind of baiting in her dress, in her attire. Let's be honest. She's a mercenary for sure. I don't know what mercenary means in this context. Run away. Yes, it's good advice, though. Protect yourselves, man. Contain yourselves. Stay away from gals like this and gals. Yeah, Will Cole just read what she's accusing him of. Terrible. Why is she standing right next to this guy who's younger than her, black? She doesn't she look like she's into that other race? Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But she looks confused. Look at that. I was looking at the faces of these guys. They made sure to be smiling at the camera, not looking at her. This is a picture of her standing in front of this whole group of football players, Dallas Cowboys, I guess. And they're all like smiling in front of the camera, making sure they're not looking at her because she's standing in front of them, right? With her holes in her jeans. All right. What, she was a R-word victim? Yeah, according to her, she was R-worded by 4 football players. I don't even know how she got involved with in a situation with 4 football players, college football players in 1998. I don't know if she's roughly my age. There is no Wikipedia on her that I've seen. I didn't really look closely. This is salacious trash tabloid fodder, Hake. No, these are good. These are, yes, I suppose, but there's good lessons to draw from it. One is understanding of the lack of understanding of these women who are crying these things. Because they think men are the solution, but their solution for the men is to sign Tracey's pledge about calling out, oh, Hassan, I saw you say that thing, or whatever. And that's not the solution. It is entertaining, says Kilo Alpha Tango. Thank you, man. Yeah, don't let women in the sport problem solve. Yeah, don't let women in the military problem solved. Comment. I don't have to you can look at this woman and tell that she might be into that other race. I don't know if this is easy to follow. All right, let's move on. Yeah, that picture does look bad. Cher's real son. Her real son. I have a picture of her daughter, Chaz. It says Chaz. Is it Bono or Bono? Chaz Bono. The 54-year-old Chastity. See, I don't show you guys the vulgar pictures. But look at this little girl. Even as a little girl, she looked a little bit, even all dressed up with this big old hair, she looks kind of like you can't tell it's a little girl. Anyway. Chaz Bono was Sonny Bono in 1974. Look at Sonny. Sonny's the husband of Cher, but he died. What a mess. And evil Wikipedia calls her, this is Chastity, yet they're calling her Chaz. At least they give you her dead name, which is Chastity, in the Wikipedia page. That's the daughter of Sonny and Cher. As a little girl. Sonny and Cher, beautiful duet. I Got You, Babe. What a great song. And then they don't have them. The far left females at this skim report, this is crazy. I reported this in Hake News. Cher, yesterday, court documents alleged that, show this other one with the, let's see. Cher hired men to kidnap the son and divorce amid divorce proceedings, according to the daughter-in-law's allegations in court documents. The accusations have surfaced due to ongoing divorce case between Cher's son Elijah Blue Allman and his estranged wife Marie King. It's an article out yesterday in People magazine. P. Exeter Blue is Elijah Blue Allman's stage name. He's a musician man. There he is with his mother, Cher, who's part Armenian, not a normal white. I will let you know. far left liberal, off the deep end liberal, 76 years old, still messing and dressing like a SL word. Allman and his ex-wife Marie Angela King, known as Queenie, from the band King, were trying to work on their marriage in New York City when Queenie alleges that 4 men came to take this guy, Allman, her husband, her then husband. King reportedly says Cher did it because the couple was trying to reconcile their marriage, and Cher didn't like the daughter-in-law, meddling and messing up and sabotaging the marriage, according to the ex-wife now, the ex-daughter-in-law. Evil mothers-in-law, right? And evil wife, maybe, and messed up son, too, right? Terrible. Cher keeps her children close. That's that Armenian side, I guess. She's part everything, right? Cher is. She's also a half-breed, according to her, according to JLP. In the documents, she said one of the men claimed they were hired by Cher. Cher has not commented. What in the world? What a messed up family. So-called extended family that's not even a family. Yeah, the daughter became Chaz's son. Yeah, come on, man. This is another gross aspect of what's happening in the Cher world. Who is a Trump hater, by the way, a severe Trump hater. This is gross. Here's another one. Cher, age 76, defends the 40-year age gap between her and her so-called boyfriend relationship with 36-year-old, well, 37 now, and she's 76, 77. She's 164th everything, Hake. Her boyfriend, interracial, Alexander Edwards. Love doesn't know math, she says. That's the wrong kind of knowledge is poison, Cher. I'm wearing my knowledge is poison t-shirt. You know too much that isn't so. Terrible. That was an old article headline. She tweeted out last year, November, Alexander. And this is bleached, blonde-haired, light-skinned, black guy. Looks all young. And somebody says, I'm not sure how I feel about this on Twitter. She responds to people on Twitter. She can't help herself. That's what's fun about her. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I've been a fan for so long that I'm immediately suspicious of his intentions towards you. We know you are fabulous. What? Cher probably has a lot of not morally straight fans, just like all female singers, pop singers. And I'm sure your inner circle will continue to have your back. Want you to be happy, but not taken advantage of. Show this other one where she's tweeting. As we all know, I wasn't born yesterday, says this woman. Yes, we know that. What I know for sure, and she capitalizes each word in the sentence like it's a title. Oh, that guy has a kid with Amber Rose? He looks like Amber Rose a little bit in her old days. Anytime you make a choice, you take a chance. I've always taken chances. It's who I am. Poor misguided Cher. I could have saved her. She's the goddess of pop. Whoa. Real name, Shilling Sarkeesian. I knew a Mrs. Sarkeesian, or Ms. Sarkeesian, when I was in school, grade school. She was the recess teacher. She would blow the whistle on us. We were scared of her. We didn't like her. It was mixed feelings towards her. It was a like/fear/resentment relationship. But I didn't know that was Armenian. What is she? Trying to early life check on Cher. Has a messed up background. Okay, French. Oh, no. Never mind. I don't know. It's not that important. It's important to me, though. Okay, so her son is Armenian, Irish, English, and German ancestry. So she's half white. No, she's white and he's white. Okay. Messed up families. Anyway, let's talk about what's going on in the world. There was a crazy headline last week that I wanted to touch on. I have a conspiracy theory, my own personal conspiracy theories that I have. I come up with them myself because I think for myself, allegedly, if there is such a thing. Insurance companies are seizing the climate excuse to hike their rates and avoid risk. That was a Hake News headline from last week, the 20th, just over a week ago. And what these insurance companies are doing with this climate crisis, and I put it in quotes because it's real, but I'm using their words. It's real, guys, but I'm using their words. That's why I put it in quotes. It's not scare quotes. I'm not saying that it's not real. It is real. This climate crisis, it's real, guys. Commie Nonsense Network reported in the morning update on Wednesday, September 20th, millions of American homeowners could see insurance rates surge in the coming years, in part due to worsening climate disasters. My conspiracy theory is that these insurance companies are seizing on the scaremongering of the politicians, the mainstream media, and some attention-seeking, money-seeking, funding-seeking, media-loving liberal scientists, right? Because let's face it, it is the liberal scientists. They're the ones with the real knowledge, liberal scientists. You know, scaremongering about it. But the scientists are much more measured in what they say than the mainstream media or the politicians. Gavin Newsom, for example, he's talking about these fires from the climate crisis. And then it turns out the fires are actually from more what Trump was talking about with them clearing the brush, maybe. And also these energy companies, you know, the electric companies that have their things spark fires. I don't know if that's because of they just don't make good workers these days who do their proper precautions. You know, there's a lot of negligence that goes on with nuclear companies having their meltdowns, electrical companies allegedly having their fires, wildfires. I don't know. 27% of properties in the lower 48 states are at risk of their premiums spiking as insurers struggle to cover the increasing cost of rebuilding, according to a new report. Oh yeah, costs are going up too. That's the other thing. They messed up the supply chain, right? Is the supply chain messed up ever since the overreaction to the China virus when they shut stuff down and they made all these restrictions that were, in my opinion, in many cases, I'm sure, unreasonable? Trump decreased regulations and businesses thrived again. And they reinstated regulations with the China virus and the environmentalism mumbo jumbo. Some of it is fine, and some of it is misguided and overbearing and helicopter parenting on the part of the government and these organizations, EPA. According to the new report, in the last few years, major insurers have either even pulled out of or stopped writing new policies in California, Florida, Louisiana. In part, Louisiana has the swamps because they're below sea level. They're land, but they're below sea level. Or parts of it, maybe. I don't know. And Florida, too, it's a swamp. California, what is it about California? Earthquakes, maybe? And wildfires, maybe? Citing increased risks like more destructive wildfires and stronger hurricanes, they're claiming. So they're saying, oh, we got to raise insurance rates, and we can't cover you anymore because of the climate crisis. They're cutting their risks. It's called risk assessment. They can't say, oh, a lot of black population, we can't do that, because that risk assessment is not allowed. But climate change is a valid risk assessment issue, according to the mainstream media. That's my conspiracy theory. That they're just singing, not a conspiracy, it's just a seizing the opportunity. And I don't know if these insurance companies even really believe, like I do, I believe, but I don't know if they believe it in this climate hysteria, hype. A slew of extreme weather events this month hit 10 countries and territories in just 12 days. Stop it. For some reason, the history of rock opened up on my Apple Music because Siri thought he heard that. Yeah, I changed Siri into a he. Okay, because I don't want to listen to some woman give me instructions. The most catastrophic of those a slew of extreme weather events was the floods in Libya, which has nothing to do with America, by the way, which have killed close to 4,000 people, maybe more than that, maybe less, I'm not sure. Remember that in the eastern city of Derna? They, 2 dams broke and the floods just washed away whole towns, killing people. That's wild. Wild. Hake is slow. Yes, maybe, but what's the occasion for calling me slow? Greenwall says, the un-Christian aspect of America has everything to do with modern Libya. See, this is above my knowledge, and I'm not condemning all knowledge. Is climate change killing more blacks than whites? Yeah, I think it might be because, because it is real, guys. Because when you don't set up your life to be pretty well protected, you're more vulnerable. They talk about vulnerable populations. Oftentimes it's your fault that you're vulnerable. And it is still wrong when, the illegals coming into the country hurts blacks the most, whether the blacks realize it or not. And the immigration stuff, it's a nuisance for the whites, but it's really messing up with disrupting the lives of the blacks with their job opportunities, health, so-called care, schools, these messed up schools. The interracial fighting is, I think, mostly black versus Hispanic. I think. So some of those black on white crime numbers might be black on so-called white Hispanic. White enough to be hated. Could be wrong. Sometimes they just have this mindset. If they're not black, you're white. So they'll attack the Asians. You guys also accuse me of shilling for the credit. Somebody called it, I'm hesitant to say this word. The credit powers that bear said, hey, shilling for the credit Jays. That's funny. I disavow it, but it is funny. And this was related to the medical bills. Nikki from Texas last week, the 22nd, said it's old news because the Biden administration was saying, oh, these credits, your credit scores should not hinge whatsoever on your medical bills, medical debt. Nikki from Texas says, who's in the chat, by the way, medical bills aren't supposed to count against your credit score, she says. But how not if it's a debt and your debt affects your credit? Some people don't even believe in having credit, just pay cash for everything, save up your money and buy the whole house or whatever. I don't know if that's right or wrong. That's not the point of this story. The point is, I don't trust anything that the Biden administration is doing, swooping in and meddling with these companies. Maybe some of it is fine and some of it's a good idea. But if you hamstring these credit companies from scoring your credit based on every aspect of your debt, such as medical debt can go through the roof, right? Especially nowadays. They've subsidized medical so-called care so badly that medical so-called care has risen like crazy. Americans are notoriously unhealthy and fat and into, prescription drugs and all that stuff. Some of it's fine and necessary, I suppose, and helpful. A miracle, maybe. And some of it is only prolonging wrong living, allowing people to live longer, as wiser men have said. Powers That Bear says, that's not stupid. Hake is stupid. Maybe so. I don't know if Powers That Bear catches Hake over there. I don't know if I see him in the chat so much. Credit is a good thing. It's nice to have a credit line. Abusing it is what gets people in trouble, says Taking Care of Business. Agree. Debt is slavery. Yes. Wrinkle hands, bing bong. Be indebted to no one. But if it's under control, maybe it's, I don't know. I don't know. People have claimed that all debt is usury. All, loaning with interest is usury. I thought it was loaning with exorbitant interest, but what is exorbitant? I guess you know it when you see it. But I'm not necessarily even on the side of the credit companies. I'm just not on the side of anything that's evil Joe, corrupt Joe Biden, and his ilk, his handlers, the Obama administration all over again, is trying to do. Because I'm not on the side of the commie capitalist corporations. You know me. So, think about it. If you can't count the medical debt in your credit score, then you'll get credited a higher score for a higher debt, and then you won't be able to pay it because your medical bills will be all messed up. Then you'll be left in the lurch. So will these credit companies, and then that'll be allowing for the government to swoop in and take it all over with more socialism. That's why I call it stupid. It's kind of like the pre-existing conditions thing with the Obamacare. I know back in the day they didn't have any pre-existing conditions, I heard. Qualifier, say you have medical insurance, you got medical insurance. People were healthier back in the day too, by the way, though, I think. And maybe they didn't live longer. But you force insurance companies to cover people with so-called pre-existing conditions, and those things can be like endless cost. Then you're forcing these companies to pay money that they're not necessarily getting, these insurance companies. The government's forcing them to do that, and then it'll break these insurance companies, and then the government will swoop in. Meanwhile, both the patient who has the pre-existing conditions and the insurance company that's allegedly working with the patient to help them, mutual benefit, allegedly, I don't know, insurance is kind of weird, then the government's going to take it over, and their government's evil. You think the commie capitalist corporations are evil, the government may be even worse. I don't know, they're all evil. Seems like a scam, seems like a setup for failure, is what I'm saying. But maybe I am stupid. And maybe I am stupid. It's pretty crazy. I really did think it was lame that Biden wants to outlaw credit companies from factoring in the medical debt. It'll break. You're gonna break the credit J's. Those are not the J's. The first J's you want to break. With socialism J's. Socialism J's. I don't know. Anyway, let's see a mildly amusing video, shall we? Move on from this. For a second, anyway. New York City rats, they're huge. Clip 42. Check this out. Is this really a rat? Eric Spracklin tweeted out, or X'd out, posted on X. I refuse to ever, just split infinitive, go back to New York City. I thought this was a bodega cat. Nope, this is an NYC rat. Scared face emoji, peeking through, covering his eyes with his fingers. And mind blown emoji. And a little 15-second video or so. And it's walking through I call it a liquor store, but you people call it bodega. Okay, whatever. Or a little shop, a little mini mart. Here it is. Look at this huge thing in the middle there on the floor. In this store. You hear that? Did you hear the footsteps? That thing is fat! I didn't know a rat could get that big. That looks huge. Show it one more time. And it says New York rats built different. I disavow that black talk, built different. Check it out. Look at it one more time. Okay, so hanging out among the water and soda. Did you hear the baby rat footsteps? That thing is slow and lumbering. I really thought, people were saying, oh, it looks like a beaver, except that the tail's wrong. And somebody said, oh, the teeth are wrong. I don't know. I don't see any teeth. Yeah, exactly, Lisa, our resident health expert. Almost possum-sized. Is it pronounced possum or opossum? I only never knew of it as a possum. Just possum. We see people in the chat are saying beaver. I don't know if I've seen a real beaver. Maybe it's a muskrat. It is a muskrat. It's fat. Possums are about that fast. They're pretty slow because they're marsupials. Marsupials are slow, I will have you know. Did you know that? Marsupials are the pouch animals like kangaroos. Are kangaroos slow? Yeah, I just spell it possum. Possum. New York rats. Built different. Doesn't that sound black? It's differently. Built differently. Possums are white. No, well, they are lighter colored, I suppose. Kevin Howe's seen beavers plenty of times, usually covered in mud. Yeah, they have big flat tails. Exactly. That's what I picture, Adam 87. Are rats as dirty as they claim? Or are mice worse? Like field mice? Field mice can be deadly because they can carry crazy diseases, I've heard. K-rats are cool. Kangaroos are fast, says Winklehands Bing Bong. Yeah, where's my people down under, my viewers down under? No flat earthers down under. Just hairless squirrels. How did it get so fat? I could believe it, though, because they're well fed in New York, and it's out of control, and they got issues. And I've heard that there's some people who are from places close to New York around here. I believe JLP's new producer, Sean, knows that he spent some time in and around New York City, and said that they'll go up and, eat the food off the plate of people dining. I don't know if he said that. I might have made that part up. I might not have, though. Not of. They eat the garbage. Yeah, Argalunas, flies throw up on our food. I was thinking about flies, because some flies flew onto my food wrapper Sunday morning. I'm like, that's a beautiful thing. Flies are so colorful. You look at them closely, it's just a beautiful little animal, if it's an animal. It's not a plant. It's so cool. It's like greenish, bluish, his cool like reddish eyes. Snort some alpha jerky. Possums eat dead animals. Yeah, they're crazy. They're in my neighborhood from when I was growing up, we're getting more raccoons. Didn't used to have raccoons in our neighborhood. It used to just be possums, some huge flocks of parrots. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In the afternoons because they were let out of they escaped from like a pet store decades ago, I guess. Considering starting a Hake out of context YouTube channel, that'd be funny. Carver531. Possums have creepy human hands. Do they hang upside down like they show in the cartoons? Because I haven't really seen that I've seen. I've just seen them walking through the ivy on top of fences and stuff. Whew. You know, El Nino is coming back. El Nino came like 25 years ago, I want to say, or 1998 roughly. El Nino, give or take, 97 maybe. And with El Nino came these huge, ugly spiders in SoCal. I'd never seen them before, and then I was like 15, 16 years old. All of a sudden, I see these spiders. You gotta watch where you're walking. Don't walk through and they are able to build their spider webs in the middle of like between nothing, like just midway in this halfway into the sky. Like they're not even between anything. Like how does it make a web just in midair? It's crazy. Skunks are the worst. Yeah. There's skunks even down. We're like way off the foothills where I grew up. You know, El Monte, almost to the 10 freeway, if you guys know your geography in the San Gabriel Valley. And there's skunks all the way down that way. Skunks are supposed to be closer towards the foothills. Possums are kind of cute. Rats are kind of cute. I've had to beat rats to death. I don't know if I could beat that one to death, though. In my old place where I used to live in Temple City, because those Asians, they come in with their fruit trees, and then the rats come in to eat the fruit from the trees, and then they'll come in to, doesn't matter how much, then I'll get off this subject. Doesn't matter how much, what's that metal stuff that's kind of like cotton, but it's metal? I forget what it's called, but steel wool. I don't care how much steel wool you stuff into all of the openings, the rats get through. And then the trap doesn't necessarily kill them. You have to beat them with a stick or a bat. It's crazy. So we wish New York City well in their war on the rats, don't we? All right. I'm going to get to some interesting stories. They're violating and brainwashing the kids in the Netherlands. Some awful things going on in Europe. It's an attack on all the white, once Christian countries. Was the Netherlands ever Christian? I think they were. But now it's time for some music. Let's listen to some Christian music. Mary Rice Hopkins, yeah? I say we do that. This is No One Else I Know by Mary Rice Hopkins. I know you guys were asking not to hear from her, but you're going to listen and you're going to like it. I'll be right back for hour 2 and the rest of hour 1, honestly. It's a short song. So grin and bear it, you musical Philistines. Here it is.
No one else I know walks like you, or talks like you, or looks like you. No one else I know is like you. No one else does what you do. Not all have your eyes or have your nose. If they can't wear your size, they don't fit in your clothes. If they don't have your face, then they don't have your smile or your laugh or your cute style. No one else I know walks like you, or talks like you, or looks like you. No one else I know Some may have your taste, but not all are the same, though they may share your name. No one else I know walks like you, or talks like you, or looks like you. No one else I know is like you. No one else does what you do. No one else I know walks like you, or talks like you, or looks like you. No one else I know is like you. No one else does what you do.
Isn't it nice?
No one else
That's
is
what
like
you do.
you.
The toddler in me is like, H-E double toothpicks, yeah! Right on, beta legs. Watching debate recap during Mary Rice Hopkins. What's up, Lisa? Hake is passive-aggressively punishing us for our sinful state. Thank you. What in the world, Hake? He didn't say what in the world. He said WT blank, Hake. Hake torture. Pretty fun. You're going to listen and you're going to like it. Okay, let me read some super chats. At least, I know that some have come in. Over on Rumble, our supporters, Being Enlightened Till I Rise, says, all interest seems wrong. Why should anyone have to pay more on something's initial price? He says. Well, in that case, loaning wouldn't be a business, loaning money. And also, like, you loan somebody something, and then later on, the value of money has increased, so you should maybe pay a little bit more. Oh, no, the value of money has decreased, so you loaned, I don't know, you should get paid back with a little interest, maybe. Interesting, I don't know. Any usury is pretty evil. Usury, loaning with exorbitant interest, is pretty evil, giving away free money or wealth because of time. Yeah, Sean says, built different, confirmed. Those rats in New York. Possums are right because they do things for the environment. Do they do anything for the environment? Those rats eating the New York style pizza. Yeah, I've seen them like taking the pizza from the people. It's crazy. Thank you guys for the lemons, Wrinkle Hands Bing Bong, Beta Legs, Noah's Ark, Kansas. Appreciate those lemons. And the ice cream from Kilo Alpha Tango. Appreciate that. Where am I with my lemon count? Do I have enough to... Shall I open the treasure chest for you guys? I'll do it. You have to pay interest on money, says Taking Care of Business. The value of money is constantly decreasing. That ensures the loaner makes money. You got to make a little money. If you don't want to be in debt, then don't borrow money. And it's good advice. I think I'll open the treasure chest for you guys. There you go. Even though I haven't opened it yet. So thanks for the lemons. Mr. Nargus. Noah's Ark, Kansas. Wrinkle Hands Bing Bong. I've encouraged my fellow JLP hosts, network hosts, to join into DLive. I don't think you'll get demonetized, and you'll get donated to. And the people on DLive like DLive, the viewers. So I call you guys the redheaded stepchildren, but I like you, I guess, you know. So congrats to Wrinkle Hands Bing Bong, Kilo Alpha Tango, Beta Legs, Greenwall, GMD Gym. Let me look over on Streamlabs. Gregatron says, Hake, Lord Bibby 42 uploaded a video of your girl, meaning mine, Britney Spears, dancing on a pole. What the? This woman is over 40 years old. That's right, she's a little bit younger than me. Roughly my age. She's recording herself with hardly any clothes on. What do you think about this? Triple question mark. Yeah, Gregatron. She's so disappointing. Not to me so much, because I never really liked that face. Look at her face. I don't have a picture of her. Britney Spears. And look at that body type. You can tell she was always, at heart, a chubby girl. Shout out to the chubby girls. But anyway, misguided, nutty, young, not that young, no spring chicken lady. And I use the term lady loosely. We wish her well. We're praying for you, Britney Spears. You should never have listened to those G-word people who support you. They're not really supporting you. You should have maybe loved your father rather than trying to break free from him, you know what I mean? Because you don't know how to run your life. The leader of the redheaded stepchildren, Hank. Yes, but I'm not a stepchild. You look at me, I'm quite clearly related to my family. By blood. Yeah, Gregatron, it's a shame. I haven't kept up with her anymore. I only like that one song, Lucky, that my friend used to play in the car. And he was not G-word. Being enlightened till I rise bought me 5 coffees. Wow. Okay. Morning, Hake. Man, John from Kentucky, he sounds so clear-minded to be so angry at whites and so grumpy towards you. Yeah, I think he hears some things and jumps to the wrong conclusions. It's what happens. And he has a normal level of anger in his mind and in many people's minds. It's a normal level of anger. More super chats came in on Buy Me a Coffee. Based America First watched the second Republican debate. He called it Republican, but it was a slip of the tongue or a slip of the fingers. Total mess, worse than the first one. Are a Mexican-speaking broken English, a Brit, and Dana Perino representative of the electorate? Oh, really? Oh, really? Those are the moderators? ADA, or Ada, oh, that's right, he called him ADA Hutchinson, failed to qualify, and Burgum should have been out, too. Ada Hutchinson, Trump called him Ada Hutchinson, or Ada, and he didn't explain it on Tucker Carlson's interview, so I don't know why he's calling him that. But he calls him Ada rather than Asa Hutchinson. The chief anti-Trump rhino, he dropped out. He couldn't take it. He couldn't make it. And that Burgum guy should have been out too. The big idea was shrink government by lowering taxes. Government spends anyway, though, stealing wealth through inflation. It was held at the Reagan Presidential Library right up there in Simi Valley. I feel like I might have been there once. They might have had a dance there. I didn't go to the dance when I was in high school. They couldn't stop quoting Reagan, though I think 1,000 Points of Light was H.W. Bush, Herbert Walker Bush, or Dana Carvey. DeSantis did okay making his points. Krispy Kreme Christie, could only hate on Trump, tacitly acknowledging none of them can win. Ramaswamy's ideas were complicated, making it easy for him to get dogpiled. Oh yeah, complicated ideas. Easy to dogpile. Of course, Tim Scott claimed there were no benefits to slaves from slavery, yet he is a senator. I know! If he's descended from slavery, he gets to be in America and be a so-called senator by way of whites feeling sorry for him and him being a lame-o black rhino, establishment-friendly kiss-up, and they're kissing up to him, mutual kiss-uppery. Shameful. These are the jokers we'd be left with if not for Trump. I remember being so unimpressed with the crowd of Republicans before mid-June 2015 when Trump announced. Then I'm like, okay, this is exciting. He's telling the truth about they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're R-wordists. And some, I assume, are good people. And then not backing down when the commie capitalists started to boycott him. Yeah, Trump, a man among boys. Nice. Nice. Even Ted Cruz turned out to be a rhino. And I didn't even know it. Ego is real. More bad news for Taylor Swift. Stefan Molyneux was probably referencing 2009 research that determined women lose 90% of their ovarian eggs by age 30, 97% by age 40, per ABC News, Good Morning America, Women fertility lose 90% of eggs by 30. Wow. The term biological clock has been used to cajole women into becoming wives and mothers. Cajole is not necessarily a positive word, right? The manosphere has since reframed it pejoratively as the wall. She hit the wall. It's not all Taylor Swift's fault. Yeah, the modern androgynous church shares the blame, pushing women into male leadership roles, indeed, and suppressing men to be kind and gentle like women. Yeah, not the right kind of kind and gentle. The role of women in ministry is to be wives and mothers. Titus chapter 2, verses 3 through 5, English Standard Version, ESV. Older women likewise are to be reverent in their behavior, not slanderers or slaves to much wine. Wow, slaves to much wine. Winas. Are they called winas? Like a male is a wino, I've heard. They are to teach what is good, and so train the young women to love their husbands and children and be self-controlled, pure, working at home, kind, submissive to their own husbands, that the word of God may not be reviled. Women attending university to get worthless credentials, that's a fact. These college students, unemployed, kidding me? And then work mediocre middle management jobs, all stressed out. As a career, I've added in that part, to pay off student loan debt. Yeah, exactly. Live on their own and buy their own stuff is a good thing for commie capitalists, but not good for women. Indeed, ego is real. Truly messed up. Women been set up. Spoiler alert, Bought a Coffee. Has there been a single white-on-black rape conviction this century? You know, I've heard stories. I don't know if there's been a conviction, but I heard that there was a police officer who did that allegedly to some black women. That's what I heard. But no, in general, it's black on white. There's like hardly happens. And then the R words now, they're R words with an asterisk. They got rid of the term forcible R word. So, I don't know. Spoiler alert, it's a fair question. I remember there was one story where a black guy was like, this is for slavery. And he did that to some white girl, I think. He and some other black guys in like a college. Like, I don't know if they were football players. Just misguided, messed up in the head. Hating the whites, brainwashed to hate the whites, and then be all S-word-ual. Ree Nessio Bought a Coffee. Cher is so immature. She sinks her boyfriend's toys while he takes a bath. You know, like he's a child. It's funny. Very immature. I can picture that. Carver Bought a Coffee. Hi, Hake. I am on board with your theory. So-called climate change in urban areas from high CO2 just happen to be with whom the high crime teens are. It adds up, says Carver. Yeah, and I wasn't necessarily even linking it with, you know, the black risk factor, but although I did bring that up. But yeah, any excuse they can to save their money and not do a payout, that means more money from them for the insurance companies. They have an incentive for you either not to have something happen to you, or so that they don't have to pay you, or to not even cover you in the first place and cover other places that are safer, where things are not likely to happen. It's misguided. We need Christian capitalism back, not commie capitalism. I feel like I'm tired of hearing my voice. Being debt-free, I still question, what's the point on having value on currency that continually fluctuates on the whims of the people, though? The people that, though. Sounds silly! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. With a rumble rant. Yeah, it's a sort of a messed up setup. But it's what we have. It's what we have. You just got to live with it and deal with it and face it and ride on not being in debt. It's a good thing. You know, you guys I was always taught have a credit card and just have it automatically pay off every single month so you don't carry any credit card debt, which is ridiculous to carry. Okay, I think we're all caught up. Nice. This story is gross, wrong, violating and brainwashing the kids. I have some censored pics. This is a tweet from Dom Luker, and I have clip 41 as well. He tweeted out, there is a kids' TV show in the Netherlands called Simply N-Word. Not that N-word. Not the other N-word. Another N-word. Hake, nay. Where adults get N-worded in front of children. You see the tweets in there? In this episode, a trans G-word got D-worded in front of 10 and 12-year-olds. And I made this little 10, 20-second clip. I cut out all the gross parts, hopefully. And by the way, this Netherlands presenter looks like a light-skinned black to me, or something. So it's I can't necessarily only blame the Dutch. The Dutch are from Holland, Netherlands. So here's the clip. Clip 41. Check it out. Welcome to Simply N-Word. Adults get unblanked. At first you think, huh? But later you realize it's pretty normal. Oh yeah, it's pretty normal. Stop woke indoctrinate. Hashtags something. Stop woke. So this came out of there's apparently a somewhat sensible Netherlands group that wants to stop this evil stuff, evil propaganda pushed on kids. But they're full-blown actually N-worded. Hake, nay. So here's the tweets. So check out. Well, it's one tweet, but I have different screenshots. I censored. I should have censored the transgender word, but I censored the naked word and undressed. But that's what those words say. Dom Luker, breaker of Hake's mind. Dom Luker is a guy. He's a black guy on Twitter. Reasonably conservative guy, I gather. Seems like it. Why kids? Am I missing something? Asks Elisa. Because they're trying to propagandize the children to brainwash them to think that this LGBT thing is right, is okay, it's normal. So when you're looking at this thing, it says, it's not just male and female, there's an entire spectrum of genders. This is a lesson, a Sesame Street style lesson that they're pushing on the children. And I do mean Sesame Street because it's sick. Sesame Street is not as innocent. Not that innocent, to quote that gal. Look, this boy is saying it really is normal. He is a white little boy, too. Some of those boys ended up in South Africa. I wonder if they're better off in South Africa with their lives at risk from the blacks, at least the communist blacks who are physically attacking them. At least they're not attacking their souls. Are the communist blacks in South Africa pushing this LGBTIQ mess on the children? I don't know. I don't think so. Netherlands is doing it. Sick. It really is. And there's this little girl. She's like, at first it's, oh, what, weird. But later you realize that it's actually pretty normal. Blind brainwashed little girl. Poor, awful. I have one where I show one of the people on the stage. I did not show where it has all the people on stage. It's like too much censorship that you have to do. Because they don't censor it enough. But I censored this person. Terrible, huh? Shocking. And I've known people from Europe who are also like from other countries. Oh, by the way, somebody said everything that's wrong with Europe in one clip, says Gwen in the reply to Dom _ Lucre, Lucre. Kids TV show. You follow what I'm saying? Did you follow my explanation, Lisa? They try to, yeah, that's blatant. It is blatant. And they don't even really censor enough when they did censor it. Look at this whole group of children. Where are their parents? Yeah, who knows who the parents are who are allowing their children to be used like this and brainwashed like this. Pure propaganda. Europeans are different. But come on, man. Yeah, I know, like 25 years ago or 20 years ago or so, I was in college, Christian college, learning from this teacher who was a liberal teacher, supposed Christian, told me that in Europe, they're more blasé about, I'll say the word, cover your ears, kids, nudity. They're more blasé about it. Blasé is that French for like, whatever, I don't care. Meaning it's casual, it's not not puritanical, not overly modest culture, overly censoring culture. You know how Hake overly censors stuff sometimes? I do it as kind of both for my own sensibilities and sensitivity to you guys, because some of you guys don't want to see this mess. And then also because I think it's funny. I think it's funny to be like censoring somewhat tight of pants on these girls, these ladies. Casual attitude towards nudity. I know this. My mother's from Germany. LOL. Yeah. Right. I mean, there's these beaches that are optional, whatever. But again, this is brainwashing the children. I say that children naturally know. My theory about children, because I was a child once, they naturally know. They don't have to be brainwashed by Christian parents or whatever, or a homophobic culture or whatever like that, to know that there's something weird, something not quite right about the push that they have, the LGBT push that they've done over the course of some of our lifetimes. And so since the children already know that there's something off about it, they have to brainwash them, and then they show little clips of them saying, oh, it's normal, it's perfectly normal. At first it's like, huh? And then you find out, oh, it's normal. So that's why they violate and brainwash the kids, and they're targeting the children. Kids meaning children, not baby goats, of course. In these schools, they're pushing the LGBTIQ mess on high schoolers and younger, kindergarten, age appropriate. I remember when Obama was running for office, I've covered it. Age appropriate S-word jewel education. Like my caller, I believe yesterday said, or whenever I covered how those schools are evil, you know, these 14-year-old girls committing suicide, maybe it was 2 days ago. My caller said they shouldn't even be in these public schools. Well, this is in the mainstream media. They're a kids' TV show. They're attacking and brainwashing the kids with this propaganda all the time, and adults hardly even think for themselves. After the so-called Supreme Court of the United States made up the imaginary idea that marriage is between anybody, not just between a man and a woman, they made up their own fake definition of marriage, acting like they belonged in in doing that. They didn't belong in doing that. The public support changed. It's like, oh, this is turned legal now. Must be nothing wrong with it. Or it makes people question what they know, and since they don't have a solid foundation, they go along with the world and with the worldly intellectual arguments which are against nature and nature's God. Let me show you this video. In Oregon, I think, this is out in the main folder, Hassan. Trans attack. Camille Paglia stan Provokatov tweeted out this video. And I'm not going to show you the video, but it's two children in a hallway. It's actually a whole bunch of school-age children in a hallway in a Oregon high school, so it's not exactly children. It is children, I guess you want to call them children, but these are little-looking people. Trans-identified male, according to this person, attacks a female student, and I could hardly tell that it was a female student. I literally thought it was a girl attacking a boy, a long-haired boy. But no, it was a boy who's dressed up like a girl, and I censor it because this person is wearing like a crop top thing with belly button showing and more than that, just that. And it's like a 14-year-old, or I don't know what, somewhere between 14 and 17, probably. Just pulled this tomboyish kid from behind who's wearing jeans and a long baggy t-shirt and a gray backpack. You see if you're watching the video feed, you see this person on the ground covering her head. It's a little girl, I guess. You're telling me there are no advantages of males over females, yet we know for a fact she would never be able to overpower her male attacker. And it's a video originally tweeted out by Ben Etdy. Ben Etdy, here's the other tweet. Same video. Screenshot of it anyway. Our girls are at risk in Oregon schools. Oregon, you know, the Pacific Northwest. Beautiful area. Ugly, evil, liberal parents and voters and people. Ugly on the inside. Don't say they're ugly on the outside. That's terrible. Hazelbrook Middle School. Oh, middle school. Middle school, that's not high school. Middle school, that's like 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, right? I don't know. They called it junior high for me. In Oregon, what you're seeing is a large boy who identifies as a girl. Didn't look that large to me, but maybe a little bit bigger than the person whom he's attacking. Ambush a smaller girl from behind. Both children are the victims of adults who run this school district. Neither the district nor the school has given parents any answers. According to this guy, posting out of Tualatin, Oregon. Terrible. Terrible. What's to say? Nothing's to say. Both need to get whipped. There used to be corporal punishment in schools. Can you believe that? So wrong. So wrong. The beating didn't really last very long, and it was the same race. Looked like the same race anyway. I don't know. And it was odd because they were video recording from behind. Like, this person knew that something was about to happen. And you see the video come up, and then you see the girl sneak up and pull the other girl. Oh, it wasn't a girl. This guy looked like a girl. I couldn't tell from far away, okay? It was passing from far away. Grab him from behind, pull him down on the ground, pull her down on the ground, and maybe pulling her hair. Yeah, you're right. Beat her in the face with her fist, and then walked away. And then the little girl got up with her Metallica t-shirt, Cute. And crazy. Crazy. I remember my first day of high school, there was a girl fight. I think it was a girl fight. Some type of fight. High school. Okay. It's requesting sound effects. It went, ba, 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 ba. That's my reenactment of the beating. Passing is a communist buzzword. Indeed it is. It's terrible. Was that it? Yeah, I have heard that the LGBTs, the Ts, are often violent. It is an anger-based thing. Anger perverts you. It messes with your identity. The blacks are all into their identity, and they're all encouraged to be angry. The women are encouraged to be angry and all into their identity as women. You know? They're trying to tempt the whites and the men into being all into their identity. Incel or MGTOW or whatever. They're encouraging everybody to be all into their identity and angry. So wrong. She's like, it would be more like that in the face. But anyway, she got right back up. Ineffective sort of skinny boy. But, you know, the lesbians are known for DV, which is a communist buzzword, domestic violence. It's usually an anti-man buzzword. You know, our favorite WNBA superstar, if there is such a thing, she got arrested along with her so-called W word, fake W word, her first one, wife. Because they were fighting, they were hitting each other. I think they both got arrested. So, it's not good. That's what I'm trying to tell you with this, with my very first story about these women talking about the R-word culture, the ape ray culture. That these women are spreading anger, and they're, like, even if they play innocent, that weakness, like the whites being weak, it invites... I remember, spoiler alert, quoted me one time. You're asking to be genocided. You know, these whites being weak, and scared. Women too. Sometimes when they're being weak and scared, and fake nice and stuff, it just kind of enrages the so-called bully to like be worse on her and hit the person, because they don't know what else to do. They don't know to calm down. So, Sion says, read supers. I don't listen to you, but I'll check for supers then. On buymeacoffee.com, Sion, Zuzu, Sion says, Samson. Yes, Delilah? Can you give me a good reason why someone has to have a child in this day and age, ? And a reason not to have children? I can give you I can give you both, I suppose. So a reason why someone ought to have a child in this day and age is that a child raised right can be a light and a benefit to the world, rather than a drag. Okay? And especially if you raise the child right, he or she will be able to handle whatever may come. You don't have to be like, oh, I shouldn't bring a child into this evil world. As if the world is the one that's going to corrupt the child before you do, you know? It's going to be you. It's going to be you corrupts the child. But if you have a little bit of light in there too, you raise them right and they won't depart from it. So that's a reason to bring a child into the world. And because you want to. And then a reason not to have children, because you waited too long, it's too late. You know, I guess you can't. That's a reason not to. because you can't. It's too late. You missed your chance. All is not lost because that's not all of life. It's part of many people's lives, but the evil world has set it up so that not everybody ends up doing that. It's not a thing to regret if the time has passed or it hasn't happened yet, you know? It's not a thing to regret. It's not life. It's not redemption. People act like, oh, I divorced already and now I can't get back with somebody. Now I can't get back and remarry. It's not advisable to remarry after you've already divorced, you know? In the Bible, I don't think it's right. The Bible thumper and Hake, the mama religion that I learned, you know, as a kid. No, my back is okay. But that's not redemption. That's not life. It's maybe part of life, but life is happening right now. And you're not, hopefully, having S-word right now or being married right now. Some of you guys are. That's cool, too. If he has kids that have the least offensive language. Maybe. Maybe not. Lisa, our resident health expert. Parenting is an interesting balance. You can't be too harsh, but you absolutely cannot be a pushover either. Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know if that answered your question, Zuzu CC on Delilah, but I appreciate the question. Just double checking over on the other platforms because I don't want to miss any over here. I think we're all clear. On Rumble, on Odyssey, on DLive. Nice. Okay. Ireland. Speaking of Europe, Ireland C-worded. The far left females at the Skim reported a couple of days ago. Gymnastics Ireland, the sports national governing body in Ireland, apologized after a video from March of 2022 surfaced. The clip shows an official skip over a black girl. I'm chuckling because I don't know this story. And they capitalized the B in the word black, kiss-ups, while handing out medals to a row of young gymnasts. Why did you skip over the black girl, Mr. Ireland? What's a black doing in Ireland? It happens. It happens. Yes, that word, John Frederick. Can't keep up with all these encoded words. Yes. C-worded. Even saying it in Pig Latin, I picture is going to sound wrong. Surrendered to evil in favor of good. Surrendered to the other races in favor against the national race, the nation. The nation is the people of Ireland, the Irish people by blood. So this clip, no, I don't have the clip. I do not have the clip. You're asking me to play it. I don't have it. I don't have it. But the clip shows an official skip over the black girl, handing out medals to a row of young gymnasts. The video caught the attention of 7-time Olympic medalist Simone Biles. That's that young, cute little black girl, gal, because she's not a girl, she's a gal, grown adult woman, who said the video broke her heart. Come on, Simone Biles, stop it. And I'll say it right to the camera, stop it. There is no room for racism in any sport or at all. How do you know it's racism? You're profiling that official as having skipped over the black girl because she's black. C-word is very vague. I used to say it sometimes. Gymnastics Ireland said that they appointed an independent expert to review their policies and procedures to ensure nothing like this will happen again. Maybe the black girl didn't deserve a medal. I don't know. Simone Biles is one of the only black gymnasts I've ever heard of. Blacks don't get into gymnastics, so maybe this young girl didn't have it. I don't know. Terrible. So, Paul, I think that's the story that I meant to get to yesterday when I talked about all of the kiss-ups apologizing for racism, this fake racism things, fear-mongering, scaremongering about whites being racist. Give me a break. Whites are the least. They're the most anti-racist. They're against their own people. Don't ask what C word means, kids. Yes, indeed. It really means forsake your own, to kiss up to the fake idea of racism, which is an anti-white slur, we all know. Let's move on. I'm sick of that. There were some things in Hake chat that I wanted to address over here, guys. Lenya and Chin, he corrected my English, because I don't know English very well. English? I say Las Vegas's. You know, Las Vegas's. There was some story about Las Vegas. And he spells it Las Veg. Us is idiot, he says. Don't say that too much, kids. For Las Vegas. He doesn't know, referring to Hake, doesn't know that the apostrophe S is silent because you don't put an S after the apostrophe when it is affixed to a word of a or name that already ends in the syllable S, meaning a consonant S. And he will never correct it, Lord Bibby 42. He's addressing Lord Bibby 42. And the reason why I say Jesus is, Las Vegas is because my name is James. James is. I don't like people. I mentioned this yesterday. This is James's I disavow cup or mug. Get yours by going to James's The Hake Report Teespring store. And so I'm not one of those people who says, oh, lay down your burdens at Jesus' feet. It's Jesus's feet. Apostrophe S. No, don't do that, wrinkle hands, bing bong. James apostrophe, no S. Get James I disavow monkey mug. Spoiler alert. Is putting James apostrophe with no S. That's that ego attached to the name. That's what JLP covered in church several weeks ago. I think it's honestly, the way I learned it when I was going to school was that this is optional. Whether you don't have to put the S after the apostrophe. And when it's optional, most people leave it off, go for the shorter thing. Officially, like the mainstream media just puts an apostrophe at the end. I saw somebody in the chat referring to Alex Stein. They put Alex apostrophe and no S at the end. I think it might have been Bibby. Has a great show. Hake having an autism episode. Yeah. I'm just saying that's. I find it amusing because it's funny what crops up in the ego. Speaking of ego, there was this ego thing that cropped up. SJ in the YouTube chat. I think it might have been JLP Hake News chat. Hake is Irish, not white. I'm not that Irish. There might have been one Irish in my ancestors, in my family tree, but I was mostly Scottish. Scottish or white, Irish or not. But yeah, there's a little bit of non-white in me, Irish. It's funny. I pick on the Irish and the Italians. And it's funny because sometimes they legitimately have that, like a little twinge of annoyance or irritation, or some of them legitimately get mad and stop watching or get really irritated. The Italians especially, huh? I say Italians because that's what Apollo Creed called the Italian stallion Rocky. And I had never heard that before. But I know what it's like to be one of the blacks who's all offended on behalf of the blacks or the Italians or the Irish or the women or the G words, LGBT G words, or whoever caught up in that fake identity of either the name James, attached to the name James apostrophe S for possessive, and all those other things. Sean says, I don't think it's true. If it ends in S, singular, you still have to put apostrophe S. If it's plural and it ends in S, the apostrophe goes after. Yeah. Yeah, like children's. Children's is apostrophe S because it doesn't end in S. But if it's women's is apostrophe S. But plural of ants. The ants queen, it would be ants apostrophe at the end. There's only one. It's not James, it's James. Anyway. Don't get caught up. Catch yourself if you're irritated. Catch yourself. Knowledge is poison, says Matthew. GMT Jim, how can I ever listen to Hake again now that I know he is part potato nagger? Funny. I don't know if I am. I just think my brother found it in the family tree. Maybe it was a great uncle, not necessarily by blood. Let's get to Art in Ohio. He's on the line. Art, thanks for calling, man. Speaking of bullies, how you doing, man?
I'm all right. How you doing?
Doing fine, thank you.
And ain't no comic rocks in my pocket.
Comic rocks?
Yeah, that's illegal.
Right on.
No, what? No, yeah. You
what are
gotta stay
comic
away
rocks?
Like, like asteroid rocks,
Oh,
moon rocks and stuff.
okay.
Yeah, like outer space.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's worse than any of these other drugs down here on Earth or whatnot. And we got to stay away from that hate or whatnot. That's the new drug coming to a city near you or whatnot.
Thank you for
out
the
of
tip.
This galaxy. Yeah, I'm just letting you know because you my brother or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I ain't talked to you in a while or whatnot. I missed you, and I was about to say, just give me a hug, man, and let's get the show rolling or whatnot. But
I'm glad I'm not wearing a pocket tee today. You would fake like you're going to rip it out. That's why I called you a bully.
Oh, yeah. I would mildly give it a little rip at the top or whatnot. I wouldn't rip it that much.
Right. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, but you already know. So check this out. So you said that whites are the least racist / evil, as Jesse Lee Peterson would say, and I agree with him. It's evil and good. Racist ain't really racist. It's really the Democrats and the liberals just changed the words or whatnot, just like they always known to change words over time and over time they change them to manipulate words. But it ain't nothing but evil and good. But you said that whites are the least racist though.
Yeah, you look at all these white countries, they're accepting all kinds of different people, and whites in general don't identify with their race that much. They just treat people the way that they are. And
I would typically agree with you.
Uh-huh.
I would typically agree, but I gotta disagree with you. Just like I would disagree with America being the most Christianist country, and I'm gonna start with the least racist part. But I would say that they probably ain't, because if they wasn't the least evilest or whatnot, America wouldn't be where they at right now.
Yeah, that's true. they do identify with the race thing because they fall for the fake idea of racism.
Yeah. And it's crazy because if you think they said as they would say the BLMers or whatnot, the colonizers, they came over here and colonized America, but when they came over here to flee what they was fleeing from in the Queen of England or wherever they was coming from, over there in the UK or whatnot, they was fleeing from that mess and then came over here and brought the same mess that was over there over here. And they basically was fleeing for that. But if you look at what's going on now, they brought this mess from over there over here. They importing it. The more and more people they keep bringing over here and letting come over here, is they'll put America to where it's at right now.
But these aren't really the rank and file. By rank and file, I mean like the typical Americans that you see around. These are the leaders tend to be like the worst of us, interestingly. So, although they are a reflection of all of us, I guess, a reflection of us, they're, I don't know, it's hard to say because you and I might say, oh, if I was leader in America, I would not go for this, but I don't know what kind of pressures they're going through, and I don't know what I would do in their situations. I outside looking in, it's clearly wrong what they're allowing to have happen to the country. Never fixing the border, never fixing the immigration thing, kissing up to the fake idea of racism. It's like they live in a completely different world in which their weaknesses look so ridiculous. But if we look at ourselves, our weaknesses are, our lives are a mess ourselves. So it's hard to know. Yeah. One cannot really judge.
Well, I'm not just talking about the border situation. I'm just talking about overall. If you just look at, and I was just thinking about this the other day, I would be crazy to think that America is going to be all right or whatnot. Like, that Trump or anybody else could save America. Because if you look at it and you think about it, we mentally, physically, and emotionally are beat and brain dead. It's so brain dead. So if basically China and Russia already don't beat us, you can just sit back and watch on your television and see that we already beat. And I mean, I'm not copping deuces and saying, oh, I don't like America or America's done for. Like, I'm just saying the facts is the facts. Yeah. Like, people out of shape. They don't take care of their bodies. Yeah. They up here pushing this transmission agenda with the LGBTQ. They mentally and verbally defeat. You can't. I mean, China and Russia, they ain't got to fight these new generation American kids and Tony from California. The only thing you got to do is call them scaredy cats, and they're going to be like, I need my safe space. They're going to go somewhere and cry and want to hurt themselves. Yeah. Want to self-delete themselves or whatnot. What else is something? Physically, mentally, emotionally. And then, I mean, and then functioning brain-wise, they ain't got no brains or whatnot from this younger generation all the way up to around Jesse Lee Peterson's generation or whatnot. They ain't got no functioning brains. So you can't fight nothing if you ain't got no functioning brain, if you don't know the difference between left and right and wrong.
I agree with that. I mean, that's plainly obvious.
And it's just crazy because, I mean, I'm not saying me and you are just perfect, but we clearly got logical and are not emotionally beat to where we kind of see what's up and know what's up. I ain't saying we just perfect, but 90%, 85% of the time and whatnot, we gonna really adjust and fix what the problem is. Why you got these politicians and these BLM and these liberal whites, they're so far to the left and so far out the loop, they ain't fixing nothing. They ain't doing nothing but putting a Band-Aid on gunshot wounds. Yeah. And then even if you think about the Christians or whatnot over here in America, these folks be over here listening to these pastors on TV 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I'm sitting here thinking in the back of my head, it ain't that much church that a person need to be going to unless you committing that much evil or you that worried about going to hell that you need to be sitting around watching a preacher and a pastor talk on a TV all day. Or you need to be in a church every day, all day or whatnot. And then, I mean, just think about with the abortion and with females running the lead and stuff or whatnot, and how this society is being ran. I mean, for everybody over there screaming they Christians, and they believe in Father God this and Father God that, their actions ain't showing it.
Yeah.
And America wouldn't be where it was at if it was being ran by Christian Judea beliefs.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But, that's pretty much all I had to say. I just wanted to get that out.
That's fair, man.
Catch you later.
See you later, Mark. Take care.
What was you about to say? Now, what was you
I was
about
about to say that I think that they go after the whites because, kind of like what I said, they're weak. They've shown that they can be pushed around, and that's why they're going after these countries. And that's why we shouldn't put our hope in these countries to get better. Just put our hope in God, in life.
Yeah.
So that we and that's the only way that you'll be a light in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Spoiler alert, we're seeing cop and deuces. Basically, cop and deuces, the definition of cop and deuces is somebody who basically go around talking stuff or whatnot, and then when the person who they talking stuff about comes to confront them about what they were saying, then they cop and deuces, meaning they like, oh, I wasn't saying all that, I don't want to fight, or I didn't mean what I was saying. That's what the definition of cop and deuces is.
Sounds like Rick Santorum famously did that back during when Obama was running for president the first time. Rick Santorum said, I don't want blacks to be unemployed. I want them working. I don't want them on welfare. And then he got confronted because that was supposedly racist, even though he's wishing the blacks well. And he's like, I didn't say that, when he was confronted about it. He was doing what you just said, that phrase, cop and deuces. It sounds wrong. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Take care.
Catch you later, yeah.
All right. Well, guys, this has been the Hake Report. Last quick super chat. Someone, he says that his name never shows up. It's John Frederick. Bought a coffee. How would you have felt yesterday evening if you hadn't eaten breakfast or lunch? I think I would have felt hungry, but I don't know, because I've rarely have I not eaten breakfast or lunch. Fair question. Maybe you have a follow-up, but this has been the Hake Report. Enjoy Roman by OK. Here it is. I'll sit with you through it. We have American Anchor Baby coming up next at noon. It's a cool song. To me. Here it comes. Absolutely Kosher Records. Speaking of the downfall of countries,
we got reason to stand tall. We are better than them all. We got reason to stand tall. We are better than them all. We got reason to stand tall.
Marty Anderson. OK is a hate crime in musical form, quote unquote musical. Salisbury steak sweater. I disavow that. Kind of fun. Feel the tension.
We're getting bigger every day. You can't get in our way. We're getting bigger every day.
sacred cove.
Can't get in our way. We're getting bigger every day.
We are better than them all. I know what this song is about. Straight face emoji. I was chuckling because of the explanation for the breakfast question. Rotten to the core.
No time left, no more.
It's a double negative.
Rotten to the core.
It's a man singing.
No time left, no more.
No time left, no more.
Rotten to the core.
The fall of Rome.
Fall on me, my country. I won't stand in your way. Fall on me, my country. There ain't no other way.
No other way.
Fall on me, my country.
Thank you for the suggestion, M. Axe Murderer. On the DLive chat. I'm not touching those crabs on this, in this cove. That's scary. I don't want to get pinched. This sounds a little bit demonic. So is the end of countries. Adios, America. Hopefully see you tomorrow. It's not Christian. Bye.